Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to historic Roosevelt Stadium here in Norristown, Pennsylvania, where this evening, Thursday night football game, unusual evening for football, but with the Jewish holiday coming tomorrow, most PIAA schools are honoring, out of respect for the Jewish holiday, and playing their weekend games actually on Thursday. With me tonight is my broadcast partner, Bill Michaels, for Norristown Area School District Television Station. And Coach, we have a beautiful night for football. It's actually a league game, it's Suburban Liberty Conference between Norristown and Souderton. Norristown coming off a somewhat impressive second half, I would say, against William Tennant last Friday evening. Souderton coming off their first loss of the season in their opener against Methacton, who Methacton, from what I understand, is really going to be a force to reckon with in their division this year. So, Coach, your thoughts first of all on Norristown's performance last week against William Tennant.
Well, Tom, what we're hoping for from Norristown this evening is that they pick up where they left off last Friday evening. As you alluded to, the second half for Norristown, I felt they looked very strong and were able to get their stable of running backs led by A.J. Pettigrew off and running in the second half. The first half that we saw, unfortunately, was plagued with penalties on both sides of the team, and it was a rather sloppily played first half. And so this game, this Thursday evening, we are looking for Norristown to tighten up the reins, cut down on the penalties, and pick up just where they left off the second half of that initial victory.
Bill, Souderton, under the direction of fifth-year head coach Todd Van Horn, is coming off a 3-8 campaign, but it's got to be pointed out that last year's matchup at Souderton came down to the last minute of play, Norristown escaping with a very, very small margin of victory. And in talking to a couple Norristown players today at school, they're a little bit concerned because they did not practice that sharply. For some reason, Norristown's had the tendency sometimes to let down against teams that on paper they should handle. So I'm sure Coach Grove is concerned about that, and we'll see what happens. Souderton, in interviewing Coach Van Horn, runs a multiple pro I set. They have a balanced attack through the air with quarterback Brian Kirk. They're led also by tight end Dave Lotier, and also running back, flanker back Jeremy Barn. So they do bring some talent to the field this evening. It should be an interesting game, and it's important because it's the first league game for Norristown in their conference. So I expect to see, hopefully, a game where Souderton in their second game improves. We hope to see Norristown cut down on those mistakes of discipline, which led to too many penalties, as you mentioned earlier. So we'll be back with the kickoff from Roosevelt Field right after these messages. Here we are, Bill, back. Captains for both Norristown and the Indians of Souderton are at the center 50-yard line position for the toss of the coin. I'll identify the Souderton captains: number 88, Lotier; 33, Murray; number 5 is quarterback Kirk; and number 52, Bay. And
for Norristown, Tom, we have number 50, Joe K. Kanui. Out there is also number 5, Dave Watson; number 3, Sam Johnson; and number 45 for the Eagles is Jay Arthur.
Now, Jay Arthur tonight was given the honorary captain for his performance. Each week, Coach Grove and the coaching staff nominate an honorary game captain along with the regular game captains for team captains for Norristown.
And Tom, I think that's an excellent motivational technique. Gives the kids each week some incentive to really perform well and earn themselves a spot on that captain list.
Absolutely, Bill. And for the second consecutive week, Norristown has won the toss. They've elected to receive, and I'm sure that their goal right now would be to get on the scoreboard quickly and shrink the confidence of the Indians as early as possible in this contest.
Yeah, Tom, there's no secret as to what we're going to see here from Norristown. With the extreme speed that they have in the backfield, we more than likely will see quite a few running plays here in this first series.
Although I do believe that Norristown does have a package installed for tonight's game for number 88, wide receiver Mike Whitehead, state class sprinter.
Tonight it'll be win number 200.
Coach Grove was just mentioned to us that right now, with a victory tonight, he would reach a milestone victory, number 200 in his career, which is an outstanding accomplishment for any coach, any football coach on any level.
Yeah, any coach, period, Tom. That's just a great achievement. 200 victories tonight for Coach Grove, hopefully, and we wish him and his staff the best of luck, that's for sure.
Number 9, Aaron Lister, will be kicking off for the Indians. He is both their place kicker as well as their punter. And Bill, can you identify the deep man for the Eagles?
Sure, certainly. The ball's being kicked right now, Tom, to Sam Johnson. Also back with him was number 2, Rob Coleman, and number 4, the star of last week's game, A.J. Pettigrew.
Well, as I observed in the pregame warm-up, Souderton, Aaron Lister seems to have a very strong leg, and he it gave indication of that on the kickoff, where Norristown had to down the ball in the end zone. They'll start on their own 20, 1st and 10.
Well, I tell you, coaches from Souderton have to be pleased with that kickoff. That's exactly what you want to do when you're playing a Norristown team, is not give them a chance to return the ball on special teams.
No, special teams is one of Norristown's strengths. They're very explosive. They can break one at any time from on any position of the field. Carmona over the ball. Pettigrew and Coleman in the backfield. Ball handed off to the deep back in the eye.
I believe that was number 4, Tom, for Norristown. That's A.J. Pettigrew.
Second and 9 for the Eagles. Nice stop. Good defensive play on the opening series for the Indians.
Yeah, Tom, A.J. Pettigrew actually made a good second effort to, gain even that half a yard that he gained. He was hitting the backfield.
He's a hard runner. It's tough to bring him down with an initial contact. Backs in the eye, back split. Ball goes to number 2 for Norristown.
That's Rob Coleman, junior for Norristown. Didn't get many carries last week and was unable to pick up big yardage there. I think he gained a couple. It's going to bring up a long third down situation for Norristown. Tackled
on the play by number 33. That's Ryan Murray from the linebacker position. Again, defensive sets, predominantly a 4-3, and now it looks like they're into a 5-2 set defensively. Carmona, the back's in the eye, 3rd and 7. Carmona on the rollout, underthrows his intended receiver, number 5, which is Dave Watson. And a good defensive series to start the game for the Indians. It's going to bring up a 4th and 7 and an obvious punting situation for Norristown, Bill.
Yeah, Tom, Kenny Council, the defensive back for Souderton, nearly came up with an interception. That ball was so underthrown by Anthony Carmona on that play.
Kenny Council, number 4, single safety. Back to punt for the Eagles.
Tom, Souderton has to be pleased defensively with that first series.
Is this the Beal on the punt formation, Bill? I didn't catch the number, but anyway, it was a good kick. End over end, takes a Norristown roll to the 34-yard line, where the Indians will take over from that point, 1st and 10.
Well, already Souderton is winning the game on field position. Norristown, of course, started their offensive drive on the 20-yard line, and Souderton, the Indians, will be starting their drive on the 34-yard line.
That was punter Dave Johnson for Norristown, not Stabile. Let's see what offensive set Souderton opens up with. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Backs in the eye, wide receiver left. Quarterback Kirk over the ball. No motion. Now we have a motion for the flanker. Straight hand up the middle. That was number 4 on the carry.
That's Kenny Council, Tom.
Council, pickup of about 3 on the play. Ball 3.5. 2nd and long 7, or short 7. Souderton has equals Norristown's output, rushing the ball on the first play of scrimmage. Backs in the eye, direct handoff to the up back, and he's in the secondary. Pick up that number. That was the running back on the play. If that was 31, John Metz, it looked like. Fullback, excellent gain across midfield in the Norristown territory at the 41-yard line.
Well, Tom, I am not surprised to see Souderton go to the fullback this early in the game. Last week, if you recall, the fullback gave Norristown a little bit of trouble and was able to pick up quite a bit of yardage in that second half.
It's a good point, Bill. I'm sure that Norristown was well scouted by Souderton. This ball goes to Council. Council gets to just about the 40-yard line. Called a pickup of 1 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, for Norristown, good defensive play that time by just 2 of their staples on defense, Joe Kekanui and also Jamal Blackwell.
Yeah, those are names that we're going to hear tonight, and probably by the 3rd or 4th game, as much as he's involved, I'll be able to pronounce Joe Kekioni's name a lot better. Okay, it's going to bring up 2nd and 9. Back split, deep back, Kirk over the ball, 2 wide outs. It's going to be a play action, pass in the flat. Broke a tackle initially, however, number 3 stayed with the tackle. Sammy Johnson on a nice tackle there. A pickup of about 5 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, Tom, regardless of the outcome of this drive, Souderton has to be fairly pleased with the way they've moved the ball on Norristown. We've seen several positive running plays and now a positive pass play. They seem to be pretty confident offensively.
And it seems to be Sammy Johnson, number 3, was shaken up on that last play. Is that 3 or 5? I believe that's number 3, Johnson. It is. He's attended to by trainer Dennis Flynn, who did an excellent job last week in getting A.J. Pettigrew back from a first-half injury to an outstanding second-half performance. 3rd down and 5 for the Indians. Backs in the eye. Kirk over the ball. Wide receiver right. Long count. Handoff to number 4, Cancel. Tries to break a tackle. Unable to. Good defensive play that time. Pettigrew with a nice play. Probably lost 1.5 yards on the play. It's going to bring up, let's call it 4th and 7. And I believe it's not 4th down time yet for Souderton. They could kick Norristown into a hole with a well-placed punt here, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to make this a game of field position. Great play defensively by the left side of the Norristown defensive line and also the outside linebacker.
It's like they're going for it here, Bill. 4th and 7. I'm surprised. Straight drop back. Pass over the middle, and he got it. No, he dropped it. Incomplete. Had it, but it was a jarring tackle. Did you pick up that defensive back, Bill, on that play?
Tom,
he saved the first down.
Yeah, that was number 5, I believe, for Norristown, Dave Watson, with a big hit on the Souderton wide receiver. And
well-executed play, Bill.
That was without a doubt a nice first down.
And it was a first down, and they would have had Norristown reeling. Now Norristown has excellent field position, Bill. 38-yard line, 62 yards away from pay dirt.
That was a big, big play for Norristown.
Back split, Carmona over center. Wing back in motion, that's Watson, number 5, who made that great defensive play a second ago. The direct pitch to number 2.
That's the junior, Rob Coleman.
I think he's going to move the sticks there, move the chains. 11-yard gain, we'll call it, Bill. 1st and 10 for Norristown. Their own 49-yard line. Okay, 1st and 10 Norristown. Backs in the eye. Wide receivers split right and left. Carmona over center. Watson in motion. Number 2 again. Coleman on the carry, stopped just about at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I believe that was 88. Mike Whitehead for Souderton.
That Mike Whitehead's the 88 for Norristown.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dave Lotier, one of their outstanding defensive ends. Actually, he's playing a linebacker position and tight end on offense. Not a lot of deception on that play. So you have to feel as though that Norristown interior line didn't get a good enough push. Backs in the eye. No motion. Roll out. Carmona run out of bounds. Probably at the best no gain. And that's exactly what it was. No gain on the play. So Norristown's going to have 3rd down and 10. Just where they started, Bill, at their own 49-yard line. A big play here for Souderton, Bill. If they could force Norristown to punt on their first 2 possessions, that could instill even further confidence in the Indian attitude.
Yeah, Tom, in order for Norristown to be successful, not only in this game, but I think for the rest of the season, they're going to have to establish some sort of passing game to complement the fine running game that they do already have.
I agree. You know, they have to be a little bit more balanced. And there's Anthony right there, and there's a wide open receiver, and that's going to be a touchdown, Bill. You called it. A great pass, a great pattern. Carmona led that receiver beautifully. Did you get the number?
Tom, that was number 17 on the carry for on the reception.
Ken Witter, the up-and-coming sophomore, I believe.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. Kenny Witter.
51-yard pass play for a touchdown. Carmona to Witter, which gives Norristown a 6-0 lead. And Bill, there's the bounce that you and I just mentioned.
Well, that's exactly what Norristown needed. That'll definitely take some of the pressure off of that running game, loosen up those defensive backs and linebackers a little, and make them respect Norristown's passing game. That was a great throw by Anthony Carmona and an excellent catch by the youngster Kenny Witter.
All right, let's see if their kicking game's improved any from last week, Bill. Here's Stabile in to attempt the point after. And it's a bad snap. Going to try to make a pass play. Nobody in the end zone. So that will be nullified. And that's one area of the game that I'm sure concerns the Norristown coaching staff. That was no fault of the holder, no fault of the kicker. That was simply a bad snap by the center. Nevertheless, with 5:31 to go, Bill, Norristown leading the Indians 6-0.
Tom, I want to talk briefly about the touchdown pass that was just made by Anthony Carmona. That is a pass that anyone who has watched Norristown play over the years that has really become a consistent pass for them. I recall when Jamal Alford was the quarterback last season, 2 seasons ago, he was able to consistently make that pass. Last year we saw the pass being made, and that's something that Coach Grove spends a lot of time on in practice, so that when these kids, quarterbacks, enter the field of play, they're able to make that pass very easily.
Bill, what exactly is the pattern? Is it an out and up, or is it a straight fly pattern?
Tom, I didn't see an out and up. I just saw the straight fly fade pattern, and allow the speed of Norristown to get a little separation with the receiver and the defensive back, and it's a timing pattern. It's a 3-step drop, and he throws right to the spot. And Kenny Witter, the youngster, was able to get to the spot and make the reception for Norristown. Fantastic play.
Stabile on the kickoff now for Norristown, number 41. Fielded by Council at the 10, to the 20, across the 25 to the 27-yard line, where Souderton will take over 1st and 10, their own 27.
Brad Harrell, number 44, in on that tackle for Norristown.
Bill, I'm going to give Witter credit there. As nice as a pass it was by Carmona, he showed tremendous speed, because I thought it was going to be a little bit overthrown, but Witter was able to run under.
Just an outstanding play on both parts.
Mets straight ahead. Pickup of about 6 on the play. 10.
And Tom, that's the carry from the fullback, again, that we alluded to earlier, that William Tennant had some success with last week against Norristown.
Well, again, like last week, Norristown's defense did break, or excuse me, it did bend a little bit and allowed some yardage, but when it came to the nitty-gritty big plays, their defense stepped up, Bill. So let's see if we can have a carbon copy this evening. Kirk over the ball, Baxton and I. Wide receiver split. Hand off to Cancel. Up the middle. Pickup of about 3.5. He may be just a little bit short, or he may have it. It's going to be close.
I think they're going to go ahead and move the sticks, Tom.
Okay, his forward surge, I thought he may have been a half a yard short. Another first down for Souderton. Souderton coming off a disappointing loss at home last week to the Warriors of Methacton, hoping to right themselves against the very explosive Norristown Eagles tonight. In the backs in the eye. Power I has been the main offense executed. There's the straight pitch around the right side to Cancel. He's a nifty little runner with decent speed, number 4.
Souderton's going to be very happy to gain 5 and 6 yards on first down all night long, Tom.
Cancel's not overly big, Bill. He's 5'9", 152-pound junior, but seems to have good football sense, and I'm impressed the first few times he's carried the ball, how well he protects the ball. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Ball at the 45-yard line of Souderton. Another handoff to Cancel. Pickup of 2. Again, close to a first down. It's going to bring up 3rd and very short. 3rd and 1. A key play for the Indians here if they can retain possession of the ball, Bill, in this drive.
A big 3rd down play. Certainly is not 4-down territory, as we saw Souderton go for it on their initial drive.
Backs in the eye again. This time the ball goes again to Cancel, and he's got the first down, edging up toward midfield. Bill, at this time I would like to mention that after each Norristown score, compliments of Gray Boys Window and Doors, 48 West Germantown Pike, they provide little white footballs that the cheerleaders throw to the fans in the stands, and we want to thank the Gray Boys Window and Door Company for this great treat for the fans.
And certainly appreciated. I know the youngsters all enjoy.
There's a pass this time completed. Down near the 32-yard line, Bill. Another Indian first down. They look pretty impressive offensively.
Tom, I'm really impressed with number 5, the quarterback for Souderton, Brian Kirk. You know, that's 2 balls now he's thrown 15, 20 yards down the field, just on a frozen rope, as we would say. The first one, of course, was knocked away by a great defensive play by Norristown, or a great hit by Norristown. That one was caught and hung on to for a first down for Souderton.
5'11", 171-pound senior is Kirk, and he's over the ball once again. Pro-eye set. Hand up to the up-back Mets. Quick hitter, and he gets into the secondary. Nice gain there, Bill. I think up maybe close to 8-yard gain.
And again, we see Souderton 5-6 yards on first down. You know, that puts them in an extremely good position to obtain another first down. You're looking at 2nd and short, 3rd and short situations, and of course now, you know, as they enter inside a 30-yard line, you're looking at 4-down territory.
Okay, 2nd and let's call it a short 3 for the Indians. A little bit different wrinkle that time with the wing back in motion. Ball down near close to the 25-yard line. It's going to bring a 3rd down and 1. Critical play for offensive and defensive teams on this particular play, Bill.
That was a great stop by number 72, Nick Toto, defensive lineman for Norristown.
Let's see if they have any new wrinkle with this I formation, or if they'll just have a handoff to cancel, and that's exactly what it is. And I think he had enough push at the end to get to the 1st down marker.
Well, that's unfortunate. Joe Kakanoe did a great job of getting into the backfield. However, he was to the side.
It's like they're going to measure this one, Bill. He may have done a good enough job to stop them. But this is definitely 4th down territory from the 20 inside the 25.
Well, I sure hope so for Joe's sake that they were able to stop Souderton, because he did a great job getting in the backfield. However, because of the angle he came in on, the forward momentum of the Souderton tailback may have carried him for the 1st down.
1st down at the 24-yard line. Bill, what do you think Souderton will do now near the red zone area? Norristown could shorten up their defensive backfield, put more pressure up in the box. Do you think Souderton could go some play action now, maybe on the strong side of the field,
well,
the long side?
I think it would be a good time for that, Tom. As you said, they've had some success running the football. Perhaps we could see play action and a pass to the end zone.
And he's dropping back. And underthrown somewhat, but just like I surmised, Bill, I could just sense that at this time Souderton maybe felt Norristown was going to key more on a run. I don't know if I would have thrown in as much traffic there. I think I would have tried to throw some sort of a fade to the left side of the end zone.
Well, Tom, that you had said you thought a play action pass would have been a good thing for Souderton to look for there. They actually left the play action out of it and just did a straight drop pass. And with the quickness and speed of Norristown's secondary, it's very difficult to do. You have to try to freeze those defensive backs with some sort of play action, fake the run, drop back, and then throw the pass.
Well, that will end the 1st quarter of play tonight, as the teams will switch ends of the field. It'll be down here in front of us. It'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 24-yard line of Norristown for Souderton. And pretty quick 1st quarter, Bill.
It went extremely fast, Tom, and one thing that I'll have to double check with you on, but the exact opposite of last week's game that we saw, I believe that 1st quarter was played error-free.
Well, it was certainly played penalty-free, and that is synonymous with error-free. And last week was the most brutal 1st half of football I think I've ever seen from an execution standpoint of both teams overall, but that was perhaps attributed to 1st game nervousness and inexperience. All right, here we are. Souderton will line up 2nd and 10. And Bill, at this point, 2nd and 10. They failed to convert on 1st and 10, the passing play. What do you anticipate happening here from Coach Van Horn?
Well, different philosophies, different coaches, Tom. You go for the pass on 1st down, now you're stuck with 2nd and 10. You've had some success running the football. Perhaps you try to go back to that, or you stay with the air attack and hope to punch it in.
Well, let's see here, Bill. Straight drop. Norristown anticipating with the rush. There's the speed on the corner, and that's number 80 for the Eagles. On a very, very nice play, not only containing Johnny Jones making the tackle. Very nice play, Bill, by Johnny Jones, who's 6'3", 220-pound senior.
It's also a great job by the defensive backs for Norristown. Sam Johnson did a great job. Number 5, Dave Watson, did a great job.
No gain. 3rd down and 10 for Souderton. Very, very important play here. You may see a field goal attempt if they don't convert the first down here. Wide out motion for protection. Roll out right. Nice pass. And he caught it, Billy. First down. Inside the 10-yard line. Outstanding execution. Well thrown. Excellent pattern run. Who was that?
That was number 83, Tom, for Souderton.
Number 83 is not listed on the starting roster. I'll have to locate his number here. Number 83, I don't even see on the roster.
Tom, that was number 33.
That's right,
I'm
the
sorry.
wide receiver, 33. And here is like Metz or cancel on the carry. No real gain on the play, Bill. It's going to bring up a second and...
Looks like a 2nd and 10. That was Metz on the carry. On that great reception.
Second and 10. They can get a first down, I believe, if they get to the 1-yard line.
That was Ryan Murray on that reception, number 33. Very well executed play. But here we go again, 2nd and 10.
Running out of real estate as far as pass routes are concerned here, Bill. Backs in the eye. Looked like a little bit of motion there, Bill. I'm not sure if the Norristown line jumped. Dead ball foul. Delay a game against Souderton. Now that'll give them 5 more yards of real estate, but push them back 5 more yards away from the end zone.
Tom, I wouldn't be surprised to see Souderton dig into some sort of bag of tricks here. Being in the red zone as they are. Maybe some sort of reverse.
Well, let's see, Bill. Same formation. Roll out right this time. Quarterback free. Throws to the end zone. Oh, he had it. Probably lost the view. That's number 88. That was tight end Dave Lotier. And the Norristown cornerback and free safety probably impeded his view of the play, but it hit him right in the numbers.
Yeah, he really did.
Should have been a touchdown.
Bobby Schodel, defensive back for Norristown, really did a great job. He wasn't able to get a finger on the ball, but he was able to get up in the air and shield the ball from the offensive player, and I think that was enough to cause him to drop the football.
Well, that was well executed. That just shows you the Norristown speed, because he was open for a while. Dirk back, looks like it could be sacked here. It's intercepted by 40. He could go all the way. He's great run back. Who was that?
Tom, that's Jay Arthur,
Arthur, tonight's honorary captain. Now that was a result of the pressure applied by the defensive rush, and Kirk should have eaten the ball there because they were in field goal range. But a high school player will unfortunately make that kind of poor decision. Instead of eating the ball, setting up a 25-yard field goal attempt, it results in a big interception by Arthur, who runs it back to the 22-yard line, puts Norristown in great scoring position early here in the second quarter, Bill.
Yeah, Tom, and Jay Arthur showing again why he was named tonight's honorary captain. Again coming up with a big play on defense for Norristown.
He keeps making plays like that, Bill. He'll be honorary captain again next week against the Warriors from Methacton.
Well, I'd like to see a few more plays.
I think he just run out of gas.
I think that's what happened.
I think he just run out of gas.
That's what happened.
Bill, make any comparisons of Norristown's play to this point as compared to last week against William Tennant?
Well, Tom, certainly the thing that stands out in my mind is definitely the cleanliness, if you will, of play. As I said before, Norristown has not been penalized yet thus far in the game.
Okay, here's Norristown. The handoff's going to go to number 2. Good cut back to about the 13-yard line, number 2.
That's Rob Coleman again, Tom. And I'm pretty sure that Rob Coleman already has more carries in this game than he had the entire game against William Tennant. And perhaps Coach Grove saw something in that game or saw something in practice this week that gave him the inclination to go with his young tailback, the junior Rob Coleman, a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, but I'm inclined to still believe that A.J. Pettigrew, could he be being used as a decoy? Because he gained 173 yards on 13 carries last week, Bill, and he's only carried the ball once tonight. There's number 3. That's Dave Johnson.
Well, Tom, if you recall, last week A.J. Pettigrew was shaken up on some plays. He did enter back into the game, but perhaps, there's an injury or something we don't know about that could be nagging A.J. this evening.
Okay, well, Coleman found the opening there, carried the ball down to the, looks like about the 12-yard line, first down and 10. Norristown capitalizes here and gets in the end zone. That could be a big deflative factor for Souderton after the impressive drive they put forward. If there's a flag, there's the first one of the night. That's in the area of face mask or offensive holding or illegal block. Let's see. I didn't see a face mask. Holding, I was correct on that. That's going to set the ball back 10 yards. Big break for the Indians defense. Going to bring up a in the spot of the foul. Probably it's going to be a second down and close to 22. It's going to be a second down and 23-yard line. Second and 23 to go, I should say. John Jones into the Norristown defense, along with number 10. Quarterback Anthony Carmona getting the play from Coach Grove. Now let's see, I think Norristown is right now, should be in a passing venue, Bill. Direct handoff, not much room, a good gain of about 3. Number 3, Dave Johnson. Bill, are you surprised at the limited use of A.J. Pettigrew to this point?
Hey, Tom, I'm scouring the sideline right now to try to catch a glimpse of A.J. I'm trying to figure out if something's wrong with him, if he's injured, or what the case is.
Well, he's been in and out of the lineup. He just hasn't carried the ball. He's down there in the midst of the blue jerseys, along with Coach Grove.
Tom, one thing I am impressed with is the defense of Souderton tonight.
Yeah, they seem to be very well schooled and well drilled and anticipate pretty well what Norristown's doing. There's the real fade pattern, caught, and I don't think he got into the end zone, but he got the first down. And Bill, that, giving Norristown full credit, nice pass. I think it went to Blackwell, if I'm not mistaken. But how could Souderton, in a situation like that, 3rd and 20, give that play up? That really baffles me. They know Norristown's got to go deep. They flooded that side of the field, and they just didn't have it covered.
I'm sure the defensive back coach for Souderton is not happy with that play.
1st and goal, handoff, Johnson in for a touchdown. 12-0 Norristown. So actually, Souderton shot themselves in the foot in the last sequence of offense and defense. They threw the ill-advised pass on 3rd down, which forfeited their opportunity to go for a field goal, which would have cut Norristown's lead to 6-3 and momentum on their side. And in so doing, then they got a break when Norristown had the holding penalty, and then they gave up 3rd and 20, first down, Bill. So credit Norristown for taking advantage of the opportunity, but a team like Souderton playing the caliber team like Norristown cannot afford those kind of mental mistakes.
No, certainly not. And Tom, I think we have a new kicker in for Norristown.
Yes, we do, although the last poor snap was not his fault. This is a design play that's not going to be a kick. And is that Dave Johnson, number 8?
No, that was number 8, Tom, another sophomore sensation for Norristown, Greg Bird.
Greg Bird, I believe, one of the backup quarterbacks. And again, give Roger Grove credit for a call. It's so important in high school football, especially with the overtime scenario ever present, to convert those extra points. So with the 2-point conversion, Bill, and 7:26 to go in the second quarter, the score: Norristown 14, Souderton 0.
Well, that's 2 sophomores tonight getting into the end zone for Coach Grove. The long pass, of course, to Kenny Witter, and now the faked extra point by Greg Bird. And Coach Grove has to be pleased with his young talent. And Tom, 7:26 left in this half. Souderton will receive the football. They really need to establish another drive, as they've been doing, but they need to capitalize once they're in the red zone if they're going to stay with Norristown in the second half.
The Bills' kick is going to be fielded by Cancel. Brings it up near the 25-yard line, call it the 24. Brought down by number 30 for Norristown. That's Ben Lafredo.
I don't know where I got it.
Okay, first and 10. Pro I, set. Kirk over the ball. 33. Murray in motion. Quick pitch to Cancel. Makes it across the 30-yard line. Nice pickup there. Lester on the tackle. Looks like Lester's struggling a little bit of a cramp maybe. Second and 5 for the Indians. This is a direct handoff again to Cancel. But one interesting note that I'm observing here, Souderton is bringing in plays by substituting various wide receivers or flankers. I think that style perhaps could keep their momentum going, getting the plays off a little quicker, as opposed to maybe quarterback going sideline to confer with the coach at the conclusion of each play. Just the difference, I guess, in coaching philosophies. Nice tackle there, Bill. Could you pick up that number? That was an outstanding, that was number 78, I believe.
79, Tom.
Outstanding play by 79 by the Eagles.
That's big Brandon Smith for Norristown.
Brandon Smith.
Tom, 6'3", 350-pound senior.
6'3", 350, that's like running into a concrete wall. He'll get a skull or a crossbone on his helmet for that, Bill. Because that's going to bring up a 4th and 3, and an obvious punting situation for the Indians.
Yeah, Tom, another name defensively that I'd like to mention right now is number 56, Jason Boykins. He's also been in on quite a few plays for Norristown defensively. He's doing a real good job.
Not much of a rush. Nice punt. Takes number 3 back to the 17, fumbled, and once again, why does he field the ball? Number 3. Sam Johnson, I believe last week, made a very similar decision. When you're running away from the ball with the pursuit of the defense that heavy, you need not pick it up. You've got to let the ball go. Those safety men back to receive punts have to know that. They've got to feel the defense. The only thing would have happened there, if he touched it, would have been tackled immediately. He would not have been able to break away with that, Bill.
That looks like a broken play for Souderton.
Probably the first broken play. And Souderton, Bill, I feel as though has to put the ball in the end zone here. Could be a long game for them if they don't.
Yeah,
They've got to take advantage of that boner by number 3.
Yeah, without a doubt. Norristown able to take advantage of Souderton's miscue earlier in the second quarter, and now Souderton, if they're going to stay in this game, as I said before, they'll have to take advantage of the miscue by Norristown.
Little different offensive set here. Split backs, quick pitch, and nowhere. That's I think
that was number 24, Eric Long.
Pettigrew on the tackle. There he is. I believe that was number 4, A.J. Pettigrew. Outstanding play.
Tom, you're not going to get outside on Norristown.
No, not with one blocker, a deep pitch in the backfield.
Well, you have 3rd down and 17 with 3:35 left on the clock.
Got to take a shot in the end zone here, and if not, you've got to take a shot at a 42-yard field goal, which is a long kick for a high school player.
Yeah, it sure is, but we've seen a very strong leg by the kicker from Souderton.
Almost a great catch there. Would have been a short of a first down. Looks like a flag on a play in the area of roughing the passer. But we'll wait and see. It could be a hold. If it's roughing the passer, that would be a personal foul. 15 yards and automatic first down for the Indians. Let's see what the referee has to say here.
Tom, that was a great
personal foul. Roughing the passer. My first indication was correct. It's going to be a 15-yard foul, automatic first down, and keeping the drive alive.
Well, that's an unfortunate penalty against Norristown, especially after the great play by number 5, Dave Watson, defensively to break that play up.
Right, Dave made a great play. Norristown got breaks that Souderton gave them. They shot themselves in the foot. Norristown come back now, and 2 bad plays. Bad decision by Johnson on the punt reception, trying to field it, and then of course no need to rough the passer there. Okay, I was mistaken. I thought it was an automatic first down. Apparently it's not. At least the scoreboard doesn't have that down. They have 3rd and 3. There's cancel.
Tom, he's in the end zone. He's in the end zone.
Cancel got in. He broke tackles at the line of scrimmage. I thought the play was dead. No whistle. He kept his feet moving. Broke outside, Bill. And Souderton is right back in this ball game.
Well, Council's not the type of running back that you can try to arm tackle or hand tackle. You've got to lay a pad on him and drive him to the turf. And Norristown just didn't do a very good job that time of wrapping and driving.
Norristown should have been well in command of this game, but They're letting Souderton right back in it with their own mistakes. Missed tackles, poor decisions, and now here is Aaron Lister for the all-important PAT. Big leg and right through out in the parking lot. That would have been good from 35 yards away. So Norristown's lead is cut in half to 14-7. And Souderton, Bill's got to feel a little confident with 2:59 until halftime.
Well, they do have a little momentum here, but this is going to be a very interesting series for Norristown right here. There's still 3 minutes left in this game, and Norristown has plenty of time with their speed and their high-powered offense to get another score. However, on the other hand, if Souderton is able to hold off Norristown and force them into a punting situation, that's a moral victory for them. And going into halftime down 14-7 on the road at Norristown, I'm sure their coaching staff will be pleased with that.
You have two options here for Aaron Lister, Bill. Do you try to punt it deep a little bit into the wind? There's not much wind. Try to get it deep. Risk maybe Norristown allowing their wall to set up, or do you maybe squib it and just try to establish some field position? I hope Norristown might.
Well, I'm not sure, Tom. I would guess that Lister is going to kick this thing into the end zone. He's got plenty of leg.
And Bill, you called it into the end zone. He's shown us something here, Bill. And his leg could loom big late in the game.
You are reading my mind, Coach McGee. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Norristown's going to take the ball over on their 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 2:59 remaining in the half.
Bill, just about 3 minutes to go, 2:59. Think Norristown will try to score here?
Oh, absolutely, Tom. There's plenty of time on the clock for Norristown to score.
Backs in the eye, straight handoff, around the left side to, I believe that was number 4, Pettigrew.
It was, Tom.
Correct, A.J. Pettigrew.
That's the first we've seen him carry the football in quite a while.
I think that's only his second carry of the night. While we have some time here, Bill, between plays, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with our viewing audience of the annual Norristown High School Alumni Association's second annual golf outing and picnic, which will be held Saturday, October 5th, 1 p.m. shotgun start at the most improved and beautiful Jeffersonville Golf Club. I'll tell you a little bit more about it after this play. Carmona over the ball, backs in the eye. Wide receiver right, hand off to Pettigrew over the 25 to about the 26-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Bill, the cost of $75 per golfer includes a tee gift, prizes, awards, and a tremendously delicious picnic, which will include the beverage of choice for many people. All alumni and friends are invited to the picnic, which will commence at 5:30 to 8 o'clock at the golf club following the golf. But it will be limited to the first 18 foursomes. Three straight carries now for Pettigrew, and actually a combined 3 yards, maybe 4. And Norristown, Bill will be forced to punt. I am surprised. Coach Grove wants to win, I guess, safe at halftime with the lead rather than trying to open up the offense. Minute 8 to go. Obviously, that was his intent, Bill.
Yeah, the scary thing is they're going to be punting the ball to Council, who we've seen have a lot of success tonight running the football.
It's under a minute to play. Norristown had 3 timeouts there, Bill, to use.
Well, neither team opting to use their timeouts. Souderton, of course, was going to get the football back, and they didn't use a timeout either.
Watch this center snap. Okay, good snap. No rush at all. Not a long kick.
Good rule.
Unlike Norristown, where Sam Johnson tried to field his punt under pursuit, the Souderton players were wise enough to scatter from the bounce of the ball, and they'll have it at their own 38-yard line, 62 yards away with 34 seconds to go. I would be surprised if they do not try to throw the ball way downfield. I think they'll try to avoid throwing in the flat where Norristown might be able to pick it off and scat downfield. I think they're wise to maybe throw post patterns or hitch and goes up the deep sideline, Bill.
Well, they're going to call a timeout and talk it over.
They're coming in as the prohibitive underdog, Bill. In some cases, people thought Norristown was a 3 or 4 touchdown better than Souderton. So they have nothing to lose here. I would take a shot if I were Coach Van Horn. Once again, we'd like to pay tributes to Gray Boys Window and Doors on 48 West Germantown Pike in Norristown for them providing for the Norristown fans miniature footballs that are thrown into the bleachers after each Norristown score. Again, these footballs compliments of Gray Boys Window and Door.
Coach, referring to the golf outing earlier, the advertisement that you gave, I wasn't able to attend last year, but I did hear plenty of good things about the outing, and I know if Coach Jim Sarator is involved with it, it's certain to be a success.
Absolutely, and Jim informs us that whole sponsors are still needed. Okay, they are in a passing mode, and
it's intercepted.
It's intercepted. It should have been caught, actually. Now, 24 seconds, Norristown 60 yards away. Bill, I'd go for it. I'd take a shot downfield with the speed of the Norristown receivers. And number 88, who I see going into the game, has not been a factor yet in the season, and that's state-class sprinter Mike Whitehead.
Well, Tom, this would be a good opportunity to put Mike Whitehead out wide, let him sprint down the field, use that speed, and throw it up to him.
Let's see if they're coming out in trip formations, and there's a penalty. And I hope that's not delay a game. If it is, it's ridiculous. Probably a legal substitution. Norristown had 12 men in the huddle. And fans, let me explain that rule. If you huddle and you have more than the prescribed 11 men in the huddle, and at the breakage of that huddle, one of them runs off the field, that is considered an illegal substitution. Although what it is an illegal omission. You're omitting one player to get down to the prescribed and legal 11. And perhaps the reason for that is Norristown was going to show a formation that they have not shown all season, and there was a little confusion there. There were one too many players on the field, and I don't even know who eventually ran off. Bill, I hope I explained that succinctly and clearly.
Crystal.
And there you go for trips. A pitch in the backfield that'll probably do it for the first half. I doubt very much if Norristown will call a timeout after running just a basic running play on that.
Yeah, the clock winds down below 10 seconds.
And that's going to be the final play of the first half. Coach Grove opts to let the clock run out. Souderton, Bill, will be receiving the second half kickoff. They have to be very, very happy to be down only 14-7. And Norristown once again did not take advantage of opportunities by making maybe some poor decisions on the field. So at halftime, Bill, the score, Norristown 14, Souderton 7. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this break. Okay, Bill, here we are back at Roosevelt Field, ready for the start of the second half between the Norristown Eagles and the Souderton High School Indians. And Bill, surprisingly, we have a ball game. Norristown leading 14-7. We'll be kicking off to start the second half. Souderton receiving, and although we'll be early in the second half, I think it's going to be very important, and perhaps the tone could be set with this particular set of plays.
Well, I think you could be right, Tom. Souderton definitely went into halftime with some momentum in their favor. You could tell their chins were up, their chests were out, and they came out the second half the same way. So it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do against this Norristown defense.
Stabile with the kickoff, and there's a whistle fielded at the 15-yard line by Council. However, there's a flag, or at least a whistle, on the play, and we'll see what the officials will indicate as the reason for the discontinuance of play.
Pretty sure it is going to be offsides.
You very rarely see that called on a kickoff, and I think they could call that particular play, Bill, many, many times if they want to rely on that as an exact science. But that will set Norristown back 5 yards.
Well, Souderton has an opportunity to come away with pretty decent field position.
Yes, Stabile is not kicking the ball very high and not kicking it very deep. So we'll have a re-kick here. Cancel is strong safety to the near side to receive the kickoff. Giacomo's kick now, not very deep. It's going to be fielded by Cancel at the 22. Brings it up straight ahead. Crosses the 35 to the 37-yard line. So, Bill, reasonably good field position for the Indians to start the second half.
And Norristown needs to have a strong defensive stand this first series. Send a message to Souderton that we're here, it's our home field, we're winning, and we're going to keep it that way.
I concur wholeheartedly with you there, Bill, and I kind of sense Norristown's defense is going to step up here. Right now, it's a matter of both teams prepared. Coach Van Horn, the offense opening series, and certainly Coach Grove and Coach Griffith, the defense. Let's see what happens. Back split, deep back, quick pitch. Didn't work the first half, but this goes to Cancel. He's not going to turn the corner, Bill, as you said. He's going to lose yardage. Tough to turn that corner with one blocker against Norristown's speedy secondary and speedy linebacker. It
certainly is. Council for Souderton, does have some quickness. He has some speed, but against this entire defensive team of Norristown, you're not going to outrun him to the corner.
It's called a loss of almost 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 12. Norristown's defense threw the first punch here in the second half. Not literally. Kirk back on the rollout pass. Throws downfield. Overshoots his receiver, intended for 33. That's Ryan Murray. Defended on the play by number 3, Johnson. Number 40, Lester. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 for Souderton. And Norristown's defense is trying to send a message here.
Yeah, it certainly is. They had good pass rush, good coverage in the secondary, forcing Souderton into a long 3rd down situation.
Let's see if Souderton's going to throw it downfield or be conservative here. I think they're going to be conservative, Bill. Oh, he's going to throw straight back over the middle. Overthrown, guarded by, I believe, is that number 20 or 30, Bill? That's number 20. Bob Shadle. 4th and 12.
I'm not sure of the pronunciation. It could be Skodel or Shodel, Bob Shodel, I believe. And we've seen him a few times in the secondary. He's really done a nice job for Norristown defensively this evening.
All right, Sammy Johnson back now. Let's see if Sammy can break that habit of his decision to field punts under pressure. Aaron Lister kicking very well tonight. Not that time, off the side of his foot. That ball is not even going to go in. I don't believe he's going to. A somewhat decent roll, but a poor punt by Lister is going to give Norristown great field position just over midfield at their own 49, 1st and 10.
Well, as you said earlier, not literally, of course, but Norristown able to throw the first punch defensively. Now they need to follow that, so to speak, with another big, strong punch offensively.
Be anxious to see if Norristown wants to sustain possession on the ground or if they want to open up a little bit and show a little bit more balance. Here's that number 17 that caught the TD pass, Witter, flanked way out to the right. Backs in an eye set. Carmona over the ball. Watson in motion. Handoff goes to Pettigrew over the left side. Crosses the 50-yard line into Indian territory. Pickup of about 1 yard on the play.
A.J. Pettigrew just not able to get himself going here this evening, running the ball. Not like we saw last weekend, certainly.
Well, he's more of a power runner than, as Jacobs was more of a speed burner last year, and if he doesn't get that crack in the line, he's not going to be as effective, and they're stacking it against him. Back split, Carmona over the ball. Quick out, caught. I believe that's Wister.
And that's the second time we've seen Carmona to Witter tonight, and that was a very well executed play.
Looks like timeout on the field. I don't know if it's going to be a charged timeout or an official's timeout here, Bill. It seems like it's going to be an official's timeout because, well, there goes the. Oh no, the clock is in motion. The water crew for Norristown was trying to get in the huddle, but that was just a brief official's timeout. Going to bring up a 3rd down for the Eagles. 3rd and 2. I formation. Hand off to Pettigrew. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose at least 2 on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 4 for Norristown.
Tom, I said it earlier, I'm extremely impressed with the defense of Souderton this evening. Norristown certainly has a high-powered offense. You know, they demonstrated that last week. And so far in this game, Souderton Indians have really done a good job of stopping Norristown. You know, of course, they did give up the 2 touchdowns, but you know, one was a long pass, and Souderton has definitely done a good job stopping the run.
Norristown punt formation. Cancel, deep to receive. Fielded on the run by Cancel to the left side. He cut it back where I thought he could have taken it wide, Billy. But nonetheless, he's stopped by number 73 for Norristown.
Yeah, that was Kevin Waters, another sophomore for the Eagles on the stop.
The Indians will take over 1st and 10 at their own 30. So right now we're back to Souderton and see if they can make some adjustments and get something going here against a very stingy Norristown defense. Ball's handed off. I believe that was number 3 on the carry, Ed Dvorak.
That's a new name for us.
Yeah, he's a starting defensive end. He's not listed on the offensive roster. Of course, the PA announcer had Cancel running that. I was sure it was number 3. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Maybe a half-yard pickup. Your typical I formation, and there's a whistle. And there's going to be some type of violation. We'll wait to see what the official signals. It's a dead ball foul, as we're aware. Delay of game against Souderton. I believe that's their 2nd delay of game penalty this evening. And that hurts them. They're moving the wrong direction, Bill, here, when they have to come up and assert themselves and show Norristown that they could move the balls they did somewhat successfully in the first half.
Yeah, Tom, when you're an underdog team, as we said, Souderton definitely was coming into this game, you have to play perfect football if you're going to knock off the big dog, so to speak. And Souderton, with the 2 delay of game penalties, has not been able to do that.
Kirk back in, right through the hands of Norristown. Alertly picked it up in case the ball might have been ruled a fumble, which is the correct thing to do. However, it was just ruled an incomplete forward pass. And going to bring up 3rd and long. 3rd and 15 for the Indians. This is where the Norristown defense, Bill, is dangerous because they can put pressure on the quarterback. They have the speed in the secondary to run down an errant pass, and they have the strength up front to possibly cause a sack.
Yeah, Tom, if you're a defensive coach right now, you're screaming screen and draw to your defense. A long 3rd down situation, you got to look for a screen or draw play here.
Cancel in motion. Roll out. A lot of pressure. It's going to be, I believe it hit the ground. I'm not sure. They may rule it an interception. They do. Great interception.
Tom, I think that was number 25, Anthony Graham, on that interception. And it certainly was. Number 25, Anthony Graham, with the interception for the Norristown Eagles.
I was not sure whether the ball could have been trapped or caught, but actually there was no official in that area. Official came up, probably had a bad angle, but I don't know if the Souderton staff is protesting that call, but regardless, Norristown's taking over now with great field position, and they've got to eventually take advantage of these opportunities, Bill. Backs in the eye, Carmona over the ball. Worcester split wide right. Double tight end. Handoff directly to number 3. No, a great play action pass. It fooled this announcer. A great fake into the line. Beautiful play action, and Coach Grove coming up with something I totally agree with there, Bill.
Yeah, the Eagles again looking for the Carmona-Witter connection. Unable to come up with it that time. Pretty good defensive play by the defensive back for Souderton. I didn't get his number. It could have been Council, number 4, I believe.
I'll be anxious to see if the camera focused on the line of scrimmage in number 3, Sammy Johnson, because it sure fooled me. It was a great execution of the play action pass by Carmona and the back.
Well, we have a veteran camera crew up here, Tom, and I doubt highly that they were fooled.
There's a quick pitch to Johnson. Kicks the ball to 35, over maybe to the 34, 2nd effort. Sammy Johnson runs very low to the ground. He's 5'8", 160 pounds, but very powerful build in that 160. Carmona straight back on a rollout, it's being pressured, and he's going to be hit and thrown for a loss by number 80.
Well, that's certainly what the Eagles didn't want to happen.
Yeah, Pete Ebner made, from his defensive end position, was not fooled by the play action and really hemmed in Carmona and finished them off. And once again, the defense for each team is stopping the opponent's offense, Bill, bringing up a punting situation for the Eagles.
Yeah, it really has been a battle of the defenses, Tom.
Cancel deep. He's at the 10-yard line. I think if the ball gets by him, he'll let it roll into the end zone.
Oh.
Near block. And some of the fans wanted a roughing the punter penalty. However, the ball was slightly deflected by one of the on-rushing linemen, which nullifies contact with the punter.
Yeah, the official right on that play.
Right on it and signaled it immediately. Dave Johnson is now assuming the punting responsibilities for Norristown.
If the guy catches the ball and another guy it's roughing the kicker, right? It has to be the guy that touched the ball.
Skeet Miller just clarified that rule. If the person that deflects the ball runs into the kicker, it's a legitimate play. If another player, other than the player that deflects the ball, then it would be roughing. In this case, the player that made contact with the ball subsequently made contact with the punter physically, which nullifies any roughing the kicker penalty.
And Tom, as you were explaining that, number 4, Council, with the carry for Souderton, pretty good gain of about 6 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4, and that's what we saw more of in the first half, was good yardage being gained by the Indians on first down.
Bill, that's a great, is that Metzger's on the run there?
Yeah, it sure is, and just a great effort from the fullback.
On the first down carry.
Well, he would not be denied on that play.
Over the 26 to the 27-yard line. Bill, in talking to one of the video crew members of the Souderton staff at halftime, he indicated to me that Souderton is playing much, much better football tonight than they did last week against Methacton, which is no surprise.
Well, that's a tribute to their coaching staff.
1st and 10, backs in the eye, double flank left, straight handoff, and the pitch. The pitch goes to Cancel around the right side, and that time he was able to turn the corner, and that's the first time we saw the option pitch. Fake to the up back, ran down the line of scrimmage. When the defensive end committed, Billy released the pitch, and Council was able to turn the corner for a pickup of about 6. It's going to be a 2nd and 4 for the Indians.
Well, certainly head coach Todd Van Horn digging into his bag of tricks now in the 3rd quarter, pulling out the option for the first time in the game.
Second and 4 here. Straight pitch. This is the play that hasn't worked. And there's a fumble. And that's going to be Norristown's ball, and they do recover. That straight pitch around right or left side has not worked for the Indians, and that time Council was hit very hard, fumbled the ball. I didn't see who picked it up. It looked like Blackwell on the recovery, number 19, qualifying that being Jamal Blackwell. Norristown now, Bill, with a great opportunity here to get a nice pad for their lead. 1st and 10 on the Souderton 23-yard line.
And Tom, as you said, I can't understand why the Indians continue to try to run outside on Norristown when they've been unsuccessful the entire game.
Norristown just provides too much speed and pursuit. There's a quick pitch and go. Actually, that was just like what you call the old button hook play, as I recall it back in my heyday.
That was a well-thrown ball by the Norristown quarterback, Anthony Carmona.
It was. It was a timing pattern, I guess, similar to what we now understand as the West Coast offensive philosophy. All timing, short stops, trying to just make a connection and run the ball downfield. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6 for Norristown. Ball at the 18-yard line. Hand off to number 2. Coleman, straight hand up the middle. Inside the 15 to the 14. It's going to bring up 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 for Norristown. I would almost think, Bill, with the ineffective kicking game of Norristown, that we're in 2-down territory for them at 3rd and 2 on the 14 or 15.
I think you're right, Tom. And hopefully it won't come to that with 3rd and short for the Eagles.
If I'm Souderton now, I bring everybody, and I just gamble. I bring everybody. But Norristown opened a nice hole and eking through there for about a 2 or 3 yard pickup and a first down. Bill, I believe that was Coleman, was number 3, Sammy Johnson.
Yeah, it was a great effort by Sam Johnson on that play. 5'8", 160-pound senior.
Now Norristown at the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. They can get a first down without having to get in the end zone.
Oh, the Indians.
I believe they were short of personnel.
Well, actually, they had one too many, Tom.
Is that right? Okay, that's a dead ball foul. Too many men on the field. That's going to be half the distance to goal. Going to bring up a first down and 5 for Norristown, about the 7-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Grove opts to go with here offensively for the Eagles.
They haven't really tried to run outside much tonight, have they?
Not much.
And they're not there either. No gain on that play. Number 3 on the carry, Sam Johnson again. Brought down on the play by 52, Josh Bay. I would say there was a half a yard loss, going to bring down 2nd down and call it 7.5. Call it 5.5. Carmona, fade pattern, end zone, open, touchdown. And that is number 17 again, Ken Witter.
Tom, I think we are seeing a star on the horizon this evening with that youngster, number 17, Kenny Witter.
A 6'1", 180-pound sophomore, and absolutely right. And stealing the thunder from a highly heralded number 88, Mike Whitehead. And I think Roger Grove is revealing a weapon maybe that he didn't even feel he had. 2 touchdown passes by a sophomore wideout really gives the Eagles a lot of hope for the balance that they're looking for in their offense. That was about a 9.5-yard touchdown pass. 2-point conversion. Caught by number 5, Dave Watson from Carmona. And Bill, they take advantage of it. 26 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Norristown 22, Souderton 7.
Tom, senior quarterback Anthony Carmona on that drive, on that series, has, to my knowledge, for the really the first time this year, shown his full potential as a quarterback. He made several very good timing pattern passes. He led the team down the field and finished it off with a touchdown pass and the 2-point conversion pass.
I know Anthony Carmona worked very hard on his arm strength and physical strength over the summer and in the passing leagues for the Norristown program. Anthony's a competitor, and I saw flashes, although he played very little last year, varsity-wise, for the Eagles. I know that his determination and aspirations to be an outstanding quarterback were always ever present. And I think as the season progresses, his abilities will be evident to the followers of Norristown football. And another point we have to bring up too, Bill, I'm not really adverse to the 2-point conversion in high school football. If you don't have a 100% confidence in your point after kicking game, why not go for 2?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Fielded by the up back there for the first time. I believe that was Dave Lotier. Was that number 88?
That was number 80, Tom.
Number 80, okay. Number 80 is Pete Ebner. Again, there's the short kick that Norristown seems to have to just accept that they're going to have to really, really buckle down defensively, because they're going to give the ball to their opponent almost every time on kickoffs in good field position, Bill. And that's a tough thing, a tough burden to place on the defense.
Well, we're going to have a holding call here on the kickoff against Souderton. That's going to back them up.
Going to back them up to the 24-yard line. And now we're at the point, Bill, with the clock running down, only 20 seconds remaining in the third period, that Souderton down by 15 points means 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions in order for them to take the lead. So with those 2-point conversions, Norristown might be taking the Souderton kicking game out of it. There's a nice hard run for about 4.5 yards by number 4, Kenny Council.
Yeah, Norristown.
Lester.
Sorry, Tom. Norristown really showing a lot of character and stick-to-itiveness, capitalizing on just about all of the mistakes that Souderton has made this evening. You know, we saw the interception that led to a touchdown. We have fumble recoveries that have led to touchdowns, and really that's what you want to see from good football teams, is that they capitalize on the other team's mistakes.
Right, and in agreement with that, and in addition to that, Bill, the trend that I'm seeing carrying over from last week's second half, that the Norristown defense is making adjustments at halftime and basically shutting down their opposition. I talked to defensive line coach and defensive backs coach E.J. Smith yesterday over at the tech school, and he did indicate to me that they did make adjustments halftime last week against Tennant that paid off, and it's evident tonight that their defense is stepping up a notch here in the second half. At the end of the third quarter, Bill, we have Norristown leading 22-7.
Tom, on that note, with the adjustments at halftime, you know, I guess it's safe to say that you don't approach 200 victories in your career without being able to, number one, put together a great staff, and number two, lead that staff to make adjustments and make good decisions to help these young men be in position to make great plays.
Well, Coach Grove, I believe, is now pretty much well on his way to that elusive 200th victory of his illustrious career, and I'm sure he'd be the first one to give credit not only to all the great players and the fine young men he's associated himself with in his football program at Norristown over the years, but also the many fine assistant coaches, both present and former, and also especially to his predecessor, Coach John Servino, who he served very loyally as an assistant. So let's hope the Norristown defense can continue to sustain their efforts and present Coach Grove with that game ball in about 12 minutes of playing time. Backs in the eye. Quarterback sneak for the first down on 4th and 1. Going to be close. Let's see if they'll call for a measurement. Actually, the referees are convinced that it's going to be a 4th and a half a yard. Let's see what Souderton's going to do. Looks like they're going to go for it here. Bill, I don't think they have much choice down by 15 points into the 4th quarter here.
No, 10:30 left in the game. You have 4th and short. You have to go for it.
See if he calls his own number again. He does. I don't know, Bill. I really don't know. I think that last push may have gotten him that half yard.
Well, in those situations, Tom, it always comes down to the spot.
Flag.
And that's unfortunate for Norristown.
And it looks like it's going to be against Norristown. It's after the play. Let's see what the official calls. It looks like one of the Norristown players is being pushed away from. Is that number 19?
Sure is, Tom.
And that's
going to be Jamal
Blackwell, and there was no question that the referee was very, very demonstrative and certain when he threw that flag. We'll wait for the official call, but it looks like it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Blackwell. And he's got to learn to control that temper. Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offsetting. It looks like Jamal got into a trash talking situation with the Souderton player. They're going to offset. Down on the field, I believe, is number 79, Brandon Smith, I believe. We're not sure the number.
Tom, I think that is Brandon.
He's on his back. Could be a cramp. We didn't see. They're going to measure the first down, but that's not the main concern right now. The main concern is the condition of number 79, Brandon Smith. Norristown did hold.
And Tom, I'm sure Jamal Blackwell is sighing a big relief right now that was an offsetting penalty.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't offsetting and it was strictly against Jamal, it would have been a 15-yarder, an automatic first. But right now, we're concerned about the injured Norristown player. Again, we believe it's 79, Brandon Smith. His number is not actually visible from this vantage point as he's being helped to his feet by Dennis Flynn, the trainer, and his staff. And they're going to need a lot of staff to help that big guy to his feet. Brandon, a very nice young man, and it's good to see him getting playing time here in his senior year. It's tough on those big guys that, especially that summer training, Bill, in the heat, and still in the heat in the afternoon practices early in September here. Well, Bill, Norristown looks in great position now as they're going to take over on their own 33-yard line. 1st and 10. They could put the nail in the proverbial Souderton coffin, as you may want to say.
And Tom, I think we're going to see just that. I think these Eagles are hungry for another score. They want to flex their muscles and just prove that they are a dominant team in this conference.
Okay, back split. Watson in motion to the near side. Carmona, quick pitch back to Pettigrew. Cuts it back inside, tackle to the 30-yard line, pickup of 3. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7. Brought down by Pete Ednor and 79 Jeff Chirilli.
And I think the other thing we're going to see here, Tom, with the 22-7 lead by Norristown, is really a chewing up of the clock. You know, we have 9:45 left in the 4th quarter. Norristown's certainly going to try to grind it out and use up as much of the clock as possible.
Handoff to Sammy Johnson. Inside handoff. Got back to, they might have lost a half yard there, Bill, and 9:22 to go here. I think you're right. Norristown wants to go. I think you're going to see the ball thrown here. They're in pretty good safety zone field position-wise.
Tom, just a quick note at the bottom of your television screen, number 79, Brandon Smith, has fired off the ball a couple times in a practice situation with the trainer, Dennis Flynn, and he appears ready to go.
It's good to see, Bill. Backs in the eye, Watson in motion, far side. Carmona, roll out, half roll out right, being rushed. 79, Chiarelli, Jeff Chiarelli for the stop. 6'2", 323-pound tackle there, Bill.
Oh, is there something about that number, Tom?
I guess you wear 79, you're going to be well over 250 now. Somebody's down now for the Eagles. Like Anthony Carmona was thrown down hard. He's outweighed by 150 pounds by Chiarelli. If that is Carmona, I don't believe it is. Can you get that number, the player down? You think it's Carmona? Well, we'll see. It is Anthony Carmona.
You appear to be looking at his ankle or the lower part of his leg, Tom.
It's not good when you're looking at the leg. Unless you hope it's a cramp. You hope it's a cramp. The Norristown kids get more cramps than any team in history.
Tom,
any high school in history.
just entering the game right now is the backup quarterback for Norristown, sophomore sensation, number 8, Greg Bird. And I tell you what, Tom, for a sophomore, this is a healthy-looking young man.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'11", 195. And his father, who played for Phil Giovinco, our PA announcer, was a great athlete at Norristown in his own right. Anthony is walking off on his own power. And so let's hope it's not an ankle. Let's hope it's the cramp. Now, I don't know if this is a timeout charge to Norristown. The Souderton defense went over to confer with head coach Keith Van Horn and I'm sorry, Todd Van Horn. I was thinking about the recent acquisition by the 76ers. I always have to get some type of basketball play into these telecasts. However, Bird is in for Carmona and he's in punt formation. Doesn't mean he's going to punt, but I think that's the safe play here. Time is on their side, and he is going to pooch punt, and that's a good pooch punt, but not quite enough, not quite enough distance on it. Was that Bird or was that? Yeah, that was Bird on the pooch punt. Well, Bill, with 8:26 to go, it goes without saying Souderton, I believe, is going to have to abandon their conventional ball control style, open it up a little bit in order to get maybe a quick score and see if they can't have a miraculous finish to this game. Of course, Norristown's coaching staff has certainly reminded the Eagles of that same possible scenario. There's Kirk, a little past the flat down, loss on the play. That not only keeps the clock moving, it's a loss of about 5 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 15. They have to go downfield here, don't they, Bill?
Yeah, I think so, Tom. You know, Souderton's going to need a small miracle here to get themselves back in the game, especially with the speed and quickness of the secondary of Norristown.
High formation, double wide outs to the left. Kirk, straight drop back, being rushed by 31 and 19 Blackwell, and Jamal Blackwell and number 31.
That's his.
Julius Blackwell.
Well, the Blackwell brothers.
And I believe they caused the fumble.
They certainly did.
If I saw those two guys coming at me, and there's a penalty. Now let's see. I hope there's not trash talking again. I hope it isn't. Arthur on the recovery for Norristown. Inside the 20. Let's see what the penalty is. I won't comment until we get the indication from the official.
He just gave it, Tom. Personal foul against Norristown.
Against Norristown. And again, if that's trash talking for the young men of Norristown, for the young men coaching staff has got to address that very, very seriously. Because not only that, college scouts are always observing young athletes at the high school level, and believe me, that goes into their equation on their assessment for possible recruiting. And then again, reputations preceding, and officials, they're starting to look and pinpoint people. I'm sure Coach Grove and the coaching staff will address it.
Well, Norristown back in the driver's seat with 7:27 left in the game.
See him back in the lineup, although with a 15-point lead, maybe the injury is not serious enough where Coach Grove is concerned about further injury. Anyway, Norristown will take over at the Souderton 34. I formation, handoff, number 3 Johnson, left side, inside the 30, about the 27, pickup of about 7, ball 6. Coach Michaels at 5. A timeout on the field. Pick up a 5 by Johnson on that last play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. We have 7 minutes and 12 seconds to play here in the 4th period. And that's how much time Coach Roger Grove is away from his illustrious 200th career victory here at Norristown High. When play resumes, Norristown offense is looking at a 2nd and short 5 yards. Pettigrew back in the backfield along with Johnson, flanker back Watson. Carmona over the ball. Wister split to the left. Handoff goes to Johnson, the same play as he just carried. Another nice gain by Johnson, close to the 22-yard line. That'll move the chains and give Norristown the ball. 1st and 10 at the Indian 22-yard line. Once again, the back's in the eye. Wister split left. I think Norristown will be content perhaps now to just keep the ball on the ground. And there's Johnson, and looks like he broke that one. He's caught from behind, but he's, I believe, inside the 5-yard line, down to the 2. Sammy Johnson keeps those legs churning. Broke a tackle right past the line of scrimmage. And now it's going to give Norristown a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Reminder, Norristown will return to the home field here at Roosevelt Stadium next Friday night. That's September 13th, Friday night, 7:30. Another Liberty Division American Conference game against much improved Methacton High School, who's playing tonight at Upper Merion, another powerhouse. Carmona, I believe the Pettigrew, short of the goal line. I believe that was Pettigrew on the carry, and that looks like there's a official timeout. Looks like there's an injured Souderton High School Indian injured on the field, being attended by their training staff.
I just hate to see all these injuries, Tom.
Well, you know, every injury so far, each player's walked out or walked off the field under their own power, Bill. And as I was talking to Coach Grove, we were last week, we were perplexed as to what the injury was to Pettigrew. And as I said, I hope it's just a cramp. And lo and behold, in talking to Dennis Flynn this week, he verified and confirmed to me that in fact my hopes were right, that it was a cramp. That's why he was able to return in the second half. Cramps are only a minor temporary thing, but at the time they're very painful. And the tougher the athlete and the more muscle tone you have, the more apt you are to have cramps. Coach Ginyard here to your right athletically can certainly identify to that fact in his playing days. Many years ago. All right, backs in the eye. Second and goal for Norristown. Pettigrew, the right side, I believe. Touchdown, Norristown. That's going to bring it to 28-7, Bill. And I'm anxious to see if they're going to give their place kicker a chance here with no pressure to see if he can't get that point after attempt down, or they'll go for two.
It will be interesting, Tom.
Yeah, they're lining up to give Giacomo Stabile an opportunity to kick the extra. I'd like to see him get it off, just to see where the ball goes. He hasn't been able to get one off yet because of poor snaps, botched holds, or blocked attempts.
Tom, if I close my eyes and listen to you say that name, I could swear I'm in the heart of Sicily.
Palermo. It's up, and it's no good. It was wide left and low. Well, Norristown's going to have 8 days between now and next week's all-important Liberty Division encounter with Methacton to do one of two things, I think, Bill. To stay with this young man, Giacomo Stabile, and try to shore up that kicking game, or perhaps maybe put in another package to expand with Greg Bird in there, or even Carmona, who was successful in a PAT pass completion tonight, to expand that two-point conversion package. And you know what? If they go that route, I'm fine with that. Longtime coach at Springford and Phoenixville High School, Marty Moore, never, ever went for, or I should say never, ever, but very seldom went for a one-point kick. But he had plays and options for his two-point conversion, and invariably successful. I would say probably an 80%. And if you're successful in two-point conversions 80% of the time, that's far many points than even if you're successful 100% of the time on your one-point kicks.
Well, that's an excellent point that you raised, Tom, and somewhat reminds me of the three-point shot and how it altered and changed the game of basketball.
I agree with you. 38 to 40% from threes, equal to 50% from two-point range. All right, Bill, let's see if Norristown's going to put any fresh bodies in here. Is that one of them going in, 72? No, that's Toto, isn't it?
72 for the Norristown Eagles. Yeah, that is Nick Toto.
Let's see if they give any of their first-team defensive players any rest. 81's new in the game, was pointed out to me, Bill, and that would be?
81 is Carl Fisher. Tom, we saw him towards the end of the game last week, 6'2", 195-pound senior.
25 in at free safety.
25, of course, is Anthony Graham.
Who came up with a big play earlier, am I right?
That's correct.
And here's the quick pitch, just a power pitch. And once again, I keep trying to go to the outside. I guess some football coaches are stubborn. They say, well, try, and see what happens. But that's one play that Souderton, with their disadvantage against Norristown's speed, is just simply not going to be able to execute. Number 31 and 44 in on the defense for the Eagles there, Bill.
Sure, Julius Blackwell for the Norristown Eagles.
Number 24, Bill, who's that now in at linebacker for Norristown?
That's Larry Brooker.
Okay. And I believe we have a new quarterback in. Is that number 13 for Justin Lysias?
Yeah, substitute quarterback for the Indians. On the rush that time was number 81, the young man that you just mentioned, Carl Fisher.
That's number 19, Nate Scott, quarterback, senior, 6 foot 155, in for Souderton.
4:35 left in the game.
3rd and 12. Norristown's defense totally dominated the second half, Bill.
Absolutely, 3rd and long situation for Souderton.
Roll out right. Scott throwing back against the grain. Intercepted.
He's got room to run.
And he fumbles it out of bounds about the 6 or 7.
Oh, that was number 25, Anthony Graham.
Anthony Graham's come up with a couple big plays tonight.
Certainly has, and you know, not
I
only
don't see any penalties. Norristown right now is primed to take the ball back in the end zone.
Yeah, they sure are. That was a great play, great concentration on the part of Anthony Graham. That ball was tipped, and you know, defensive backs do those drills every day in practice, tip drills, and Anthony Graham taking full advantage of the tip ball, and then having the presence of mind to get to the outside and return the football probably 40 yards.
Bill, that's tough, though. When you're a right-handed quarterback running hard to your left, such a great distance, and then trying to hit a receiver downfield, coming away from you, it's tough for any quarterback. We have Bird in a quarterback. We have number 1, I believe, tailback position.
Omar Brown.
Omar Brown, a Coatesville transfer. Carried 1 time last week or 2 times last week. Was impressive, however, fumbled on a second carry. Inside the 4. Bird looks like a fine athlete, well put together for a sophomore.
He certainly is. I had the pleasure of having him in class last year. He's an excellent student.
Who's the up back there, Bill? Can you see?
That's number 36 for the Eagles,
Bird.
Raheem Allison.
Was Bird looking to pass that ball, Bill? It looked like either that or he missed the handoff.
Might have been a little miscommunication.
Yeah, you got the second unit offense in there right now. And there's Coach Grove, somewhat concerned, going out now and probably using this timeout as a teaching mechanism, which I have no problem with. I think he wants to make sure that they execute what he wants them to execute and why the mistake was made. He'll probably point that out to them.
Absolutely, Tom. As former head basketball coach, you know that when your subs are in the game, you want to coach them just as hard as you coached your first team, and you don't want to see them go in there and make a ton of mistakes. Even though the game is well in hand, you know, you want to impress upon those young players that it's important, regardless of what the score is, to execute your offense, run your assignments as you've been taught to do.
Coaches hate to see sloppy play. I'd like to see these starting players for Norristown sitting on the bench down here up on the sidelines rooting for the second unit. Okay, Bird over the ball, backs in the eye. Quick pitch. That's Omar Brown. Can't quite turn the corner. Stopped, I believe, at the 10-yard line. Going to bring up a 4th down and 11. I'd be very surprised to see the field goal unit in. And I think I'd also be surprised to see him pass, unless he wants to give the young sophomore an opportunity to show his arm.
Yeah, Tom, excellent point. I personally, I'd like to see Greg Bird drop back and air one out.
Doesn't have to air it out very far. They're on their 10. Double wide out to each side, backs in the eye. Bird over the ball. He is sprinting right and nowhere to go, and a nice defensive play. And it looks like Souderton is going to take over at that point, 1st and 10.
Well, 2:44 left in the game. We're going to see a mass substitution, more than likely on both ends of the football. As we get our rosters ready, we'll do the best job we can of naming those substitutions for you.
Yeah, see if you can spot some of these Norristown substitutes defensively, Bill. Give them a little bit of a plug in there.
Well, of course, calling the defensive right now for the Eagles is 24, Larry Brooker.
Number 30 out there, Bill.
That's Ben Lafredo. Number 22, Rondell Hartman in at defensive back for the Eagles.
Number 22 looks like a fresh jersey out there. Okay, Rondell Hartman. Quarterback straight back here, Bill. That's Scott. Backup quarterback throwing deep. Almost intercepted, although it seemed like number 33, Ryan.
That's Tayron Flagg, number 33. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
We already got rid of the Souderton spotting sheet, so let's just concentrate right now on the young Norristown Eagles.
That's number 60, Dave Lett, entering the game. On the pass rush that time was number 73, Kevin Waters.
Exactly 2 minutes to play tonight's game. Clock should only stop now if there's an incompleted pass, and it won't stop there unless there's a timeout called by either coach.
Number 32 for the Eagles at linebacker right now is another sophomore that I know Coach Grove is expecting big things from, and that's a 6'2", 215-pound David Hopkins. Had the pleasure of having him in class also, another fine young man.
Number 9, Dave Johnson, and number 7, Bruce Minnick are in for Norristown.
34, Jared Jones, also in at linebacker.
Scott deep again, going downfield. That's tipped on, almost intercepted. Nice play. Give him his props, Bill.
Very nice play. That's Dave Hopkins, who I just mentioned.
That's all she wrote for the Souderton Indians tonight.
Also on that pass rush, number 67, Fran Rodenbaugh.
1:08 to go. Norristown's going to take over, Bill. And they're going to take over in good field position at the 31, at the Indian 31-yard line. And I don't think you'll see number 9. We have another quarterback in, Dave Johnson, third quarterback that Norristown has shown tonight. Good to see Coach Grove giving a lot of players an opportunity to be actively sharing in his 200th career win. Omar On the carry, straight ahead.